In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My media products use the forms and conventions of real media products in many ways. The mise-en-scène of the locations I chose for my horror trailer were very similar to those of already existing products such as Scream and the Human Centipede. The opening party scene gives a sense of safety in numbers, but having looked at existing horror films, this is not always the case. I chose to film there as it is in the middle of a large field away from everything and somewhat deserted. This gives a sense of helplessness if anything were to happen. The dark surroundings also create an increase in tension due to fear of the unknown. This links in clearly to the Human Centipede, where two girls get lost on the way to a party and venture into the woods, which leads into a house and ultimately their brutal death. The use of costume also conforms to the role of male gaze, which is always used in teen horrors. For example, in the opening scene in the trailer for Scream, the audience is introduced to a blonde female wearing a tight figure-hugging top. Similarly, in the opening scene of my trailer, I used a blonde female wearing a short leopard print dress and red heels, suggesting she is a feisty and fiery character. She also conforms to the role of the final girl. In the majority of my trailer, I have used low-key lighting because darkness is associated with danger. Throughout my trailer, I used a variety of camera angles. I did, however, favour close-ups as I felt it made the trailer feel more intimate and closer to the characters. I also like the use of long and medium shots because it allows the audience to establish the location, often being a quiet or a deserted area, see their costumes as well as the characters' emotions. The deserted location is a generic code for most horror films. It makes the character seem more vulnerable and also helpless if something goes wrong. For my magazine cover, I have stuck to the conventional layout and shown a number of generic codes and conventions of film magazine covers. The masthead is the largest text on the page so that it can be easily seen when in magazine racks. It also has a main cover line, in this case, the elusive. The colour of the main cover line will often give some indication of the type of genre. For example, the colour red would suggest horror or romance depending on the type of font used. Using the same colour but in different gradients makes the cover look more slick and professional. The use of alliteration, elusive exclusive, grabs the reader's attention. The barcode, price and issue number have been put in a place where it has minimal impact on the magazine cover. In my research, I found that many magazines, for example Empire or Entertainment Weekly, keep their covers uncluttered by using an image-to-word ratio of roughly 60-40. This is evident in my magazine cover as I wanted the main image to be what draws the audience in and ask questions about the film. This is very typical of horror magazine covers and general film magazines, which tend to stick to a colour palette of no more than 4 colours. I offer numerous prizes and specials that entice the reader to buy the magazine, something that is commonly used for any type of magazine for all ages. Lastly, I incorporated a web link. This is a way of people being able to access information online universally with the use of technology, which is now something of everyday use in the 21st century. My film poster has an image-to-word ratio of roughly 80-20. This is conventional of film posters because the picture needs to draw in the audience quickly and give them quick information. Text was not essential to me as I didn't want to give too much of the story away. I wanted to give the audience a taster of what was to come. As my target audience is males aged 18 to 21, I used a female for my main image with much emphasis on her eye. The intense stare and expression on her face makes it seem as though she is looking right at you. I had previously seen the same emphasis on the eyes on posters such as Scream and Chucky. However, I challenged the rule of thirds when choosing my picture for my film poster. Many posters have the face of a character in the top left third, as this is where the eye is automatically drawn to. Because of this, I chose to block the top left third using a fringe which almost forces the eye to search for something elsewhere. This goes against the typical layout of film posters. The target audience is only a narrow market, which I thought may affect the commercial success of the film. However, I then realised that film fanatics, as well as horror fans, will also be likely to watch the film. Also, because the cast shown are only females, this too could draw in a female audience. The billing block follows the typical conventions and is in the bottom third and the smallest text.